I mean, okay, there's nothing wrong with like representing Jesus shirts and all that stuff, right? But most of the time when you go out and you have a shirt or you have a piece of clothing connected to a specific church, people tend to not want to associate with that. But it's more of a organizational thing than a lifestyle thing. All right, made possible by Wavecast equipment and produced by Sand Studios. I'm Trey Remulla, and welcome to the White Stripe Podcast. All right, today I'm joined by the owner of Agape Culture. He's also a dancer. He's also a youth leader in New Life. We're going to get to know him a lot more and his clothing company. Gio, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, Trey, for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
You and I met like along the lines of last year when we had like a shop, like a clothing shop, and you guys were there and you guys were nearby. I remember like someone just telling me about you guys, and then this person was also like, you should contact them, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then by the time like I got in touch with you, I was like, oh, he's the kindest guy that I've talked to so far.
Wow, bro, I'm so flattered. Thank you. Yeah, it was last year. I think for the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And you were starting page 95.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to page 95.
Yes,
so yeah,
sir.
I was like, it was amazing because I was looking for a shop that's nearby that can, cater to Agape.
Right.
And you're so kind as well, bro. I really deal with you, like negotiate with you and stuff, and you understand everything that's parang behind the business and all those things. So yeah, I'm happy to be connected with you, bro.
I'm actually really excited to talk with you today because we've never actually had like a conversation between us, like a personal conversation. That's why like when I got you to come on, and when you said yes, I was like, all right, I can finally ask him questions and like get to know him. I want to ask you a few questions about Agape because of course do you say that that's what people know you for?
Funny thing though, before I used to be associated with my dancing. Oh, Gio, the dancer, all that.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And then now it's kind of shifting to that. Oh, Mr. Agape, oh, the one who always. It's amazing how people would actually parang associate you or describe you by the things that you do.
Right.
So right now, I can say like people call me like Mr. Agape.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
Mr. Agape. So yeah.
I find that really funny because like I know how that feels like to just be like suddenly you're that guy, and like it's not a bad thing, right? Like, did you embrace that right away, or was it like I don't want to be called this?
I think it was cool for me at first because it's easier to know who's the guy behind it.
Right.
Because for me, when I started the brand, I want people to actually know me and get to talk to me. So it's, alam mo, sometimes there are brands that are there and you don't know who the owner is. You don't know the story behind this person. You don't know how they live their lives or how they do their products. So I wanted people to know me, but not know me in a sense that parang it's like a popular thing to do parang for popularity. I just want people to know me and my story and how I do things. So I'm cool with people associating me with the brand, but more than myself, I like my brand to be like, up there more than myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's get to that. What is your story? How did you start out?
Okay. So I think 2017, I was still working for a corporate setting. I was working for
what kind?
Because I graduated as a consular and diplomatic affairs. So
CDA.
You're CDA ba?
No. But I applied for CDA. I'm Pulsai.
Oh, okay. So you're from TAF now?
Yes. No, I was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm CDA, and then so in that field, I was working for embassies, and then I was working for NGO. I won't name them lang because I might say things. You might not like. So yeah, I was working in that kind of field. So at the time, it's a corporate setting. You work 8 to 5, like you have a shift 9 to 5. And at that time, I think I catch myself in a place of parang being bored and burnt out.
Yeah.
There are times that I think that I was very unproductive.
Okay.
And inefficient. There are days like I would work, alam mo yun, 8 to 5, but I would finish my work during lunchtime. And
Okay, yeah.
I would do my best naman to, I would do my best to find things to do, like for the company and for the organization.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would finish it and I don't have anything to do, but I have to stay there until 5 or 6
Right.
p.m.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So parang
Yeah, yeah.
there's so many things that I can do in that, that time that I have on my hands. So during the time, I was like, okay, it's just routine. For me, kasi the job is more like routine type of
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Actually, like in the embassy, I do the same thing every day. And I was like, I think I love doing things creatively. I wouldn't
Right.
say like I'm creative. Maybe I am, but I
Okay.
love doing. So during the time, I decided to make use of the time that I have.
Mm.
So before I would, because I would do that. I mean, like you would pretend to be working, like researching and stuff, but it's honestly just stalling
No,
and
I don't know
all.
how that feels. No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
I'm sorry, guys.
I never
That's
did that. No, I'm just kidding.
you're so nice. You're so nice. But yeah, that was me. I'm just
No, yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
real.
Go on, go on, go on.
Yeah. And then at the time I was into hip hop. I was really deep into hip hop and like the scene and or also like the post like the rock scene more on like alternative punk all
Okay.
those things. So I'm like really in deep with like the merch, the merch,
Ah, okay, okay.
also the culture behind it because
Yeah,
hip hop.
yeah,
You say hip hop, you can't detach the looks, the
yeah, for sure.
style, the streetwear. So I was really into that, and I have friends that are owning. They have brands, they design all those things. I was
Right.
like really into streetwear. It wasn't like the big like the hype beast thing yet. It
Uh
wasn't
huh.
hype yet during the time. It was just after a few years that parang the hype really blew up. So for me, during the time I started lang the brand, conceptualizing it in those times that parang I wasn't doing anything. And the word agape started because it's just like the meaning of the word is very real to me.
Okay.
Like there was like a past now I was like, in the world, I was doing a lot of crazy things. Basta alam mo yun, there's a season in our lives parang we're just parang how do I say this? Like in the world.
Uh
So
huh.
parang caught up with the world and
Yeah.
I was living a life of it's a mess. I was
Right.
basically a mess. And I heard the word agape. It was taught to us right in school like
Yeah.
it's the highest form of love,
Yeah.
our love for God. But I discovered like during those years that it's the other way around. It's not our love for God. It's his love for us because our
Yeah.
love is very conditional. If you do what I want, I hate you. I'll stop this relationship. But
Yeah.
it's not the same thing with God. His love for us is unconditional. So for me, that type of love, the love that we don't deserve, it was like just freely given to us. It just melted my heart and like, oh, that's such a strong word for me. And I don't wanna start a brand that's not real to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I came about it. I was conceptualizing it and I can go into details, but am I saying a lot?
No, 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 no. Just go on.
Yeah, so during the time I was researching, also during the free time that I have, I was just researching because I started it from scratch. Really, I don't have
Mm.
connection with printing, with cotton sew factories. So I was just researching all by myself, and then I came up with something. It was like a
Right.
release, and for me lang, it wasn't big. It wasn't a collection. I don't follow fashion trends and all those.
Yeah.
I just wanna do something. And at the time, parang there's like a gap with when it comes to I would say church merch or like church
Okay.
clothes.
Fair. Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a gap that I saw. I don't mean to this anyone, but sometimes when they see those merch, parang people are intimidated.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know
It's
what you
like
mean.
if you see Jesus there and
Yeah.
those people see that and they're like, okay, okay. Parang alam mo yun, there's a
Right.
stigma right away na,
Right.
but I'm not shying away from those things. It's just like I think I can portray it in a way that people that doesn't know God
Like
would
it feels
still.
inviting for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's welcoming. It's not intimidating. So yeah, that was like the driving force behind the start of the brand.
I find it interesting that that was your motive because it's so true. Like even I admit that that's so true. Like when you go out there and I mean, okay, there's nothing wrong with like representing Jesus shirts and all that stuff, right? But most of the time when you go out and you have a shirt or you have a piece of clothing connected to a specific church, you
Mhm,
know what I mean?
mhm,
People tend to not want to associate with that
mhm,
if they're
mhm.
new. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like oh, they're gonna invite me. But it's more of a organizational thing than a lifestyle thing.
that's true.
It feels more like for example, if I see Agape, I'm like, okay, I don't know, like he's just someone who's wearing the shirt and it means
Mhm,
this great thing. It's
mhm.
not tied to an organization that wants to like if I'm outside, right? I won't be like, oh, they want to invite me somewhere. Like not
Yeah,
necessarily.
that's
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
it's a Greek word, like it
Mhm,
is what it is. And but then you have that same heart. At least I
mhm,
see it. You have
mhm,
that
mhm.
same heart to give love, to reach out, to it's still like a sense of missional um
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
that you have, right? And when you go out there in again, like in a if I even for me, I'm from Victory. If I have like a Victory logo here, you know what I mean? People
Mhm,
are like, oh, okay, he's from Victory. Like immediately there's this thing of like, you're different.
mhm, mhm,
And I'm not saying it's a great thing. I really wish it didn't exist, but it does. And
mhm,
I feel like it's such a nice idea to kind of have an overarching brand
mhm.
that no matter what organization you go to or service you attend, that you can kind of rep that. Is that kind of your mission? Was that your mission when you started out?
Yeah. Because it wasn't. I don't want to be. I don't want. I'm part of a local church,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like my influence to be driven by business.
Yeah.
I would love to see people wearing my merch in our church, which happens all the time. I would
Yeah.
see,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's amazing. But I don't want people to I don't know associate me with something. It's something it's with an organization. I want them to see the message.
Yeah.
It's more on like the message, and it's something that you would wear in like if you're in a party or if you're in a in a club.
Right. Yeah.
People,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, I can't have a conversation with this person because he's wearing this
Right.
message and all. So I don't want it to be how do I say this straight in your face. But
Yeah. It's not churchy.
yeah, it's not churchy. I'm not shoving it to your
Yeah.
throat now. Okay, this is what I believe in. But you know what? In every release that I have, in every drop that I have, there's a message that
Right.
you can see.
Mm.
But it's not super parang straight in your face. Parang I'm shoving it to your throat. Okay, this is what we believe in. Blah blah blah. It's up to you. It's
It
how
doesn't
you
say
take it.
repent. Jesus died for your sins. You know, it doesn't say that.
So that's that me for me. I still wanna spread that love to people to the world, and I want people to wear it, even if they're not a Christian. You get what I mean?
Right.
Parang it's not supposed to be something that it's just parang exclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Parang I wanted to be open to everyone. I want people to ask questions. Oh, because the agape is actually it was planned out. I planned it to be I used the Greek word talaga. So people not a lot of people would know.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't use an English word. I could have used a Filipino word, but I used a Greek word because
Yeah.
it sparks interest as well. What's agape? What's agape? That's the funniest. You know,
I'm sure you get that all the
basically,
time.
what?
I'm sure you get that all the time.
Yeah, it was just in this one school that they said agape. So it was very funny. So agape, and then yeah, and then it sparks interest. Like people would
Yeah.
ask, "What does it mean?" And then, and you know what? Because when you're wearing nothing against with Jesus merch. Like if you say
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
here, people would see. But when you say parang they know what it means already. They know what the shirt stands for. But when you say agape, people would ask you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't me pushing my message.
Right.
You asked for it, remember? What's
Yeah.
agape? So it was just like an entry point for me to share what it means. So
Yeah.
boom, a subtle a subtle type of, sharing the love.
Right.
So, and hindi siya organic yung conversation. It's not me. Oh, okay, repent because Jesus is coming, all those things.
Yeah.
But they ask first. So you
Right.
ask me to sharing, right? So
Yeah. So when people ask you about, oh, what does agape mean? What's your like spiel?
that's nice. Okay, so whenever they would ask me, I would say, oh, it's actually a Greek word for unconditional, selfless, sacrificial kind of love.
Yeah.
But oh, I've heard that. Parang they would say, I've heard that from school before. I just didn't remember. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
highest form of love, diba? Yeah. And they would ask me, that's the highest form of love. I remember. And then there's eros, and then there's other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For now. But yeah, and then for me, it's whenever I would explain what it means to me personally, because I want it to be very personal. I think
Right.
people can relate to it when it's something personal. It's not like I don't have a spiel. I just know what it means, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unconditional. There. Okay, this is my spiel for you. Agape is this. But I just make it natural, like
Okay.
the conversation would just flow naturally. Because if it's something real with you, parang it's just authentic conversation. Like I can just really share it to you, and you would be interested in listening. So I don't have like okay a PowerPoint agape.
Point
Yeah,
one,
that's
point two.
point one, point two, you're going to blah, blah, blah. No. It's just like a natural conversation. I wanted to spark a natural, authentic conversation.
All right. I'm loving this conversation so far. We're going to take a quick break and then I'm going to be asking you about your highlights. All right, we're back. So, what's been your highlights of Agape so far?
I'm not really focused on like the big things, like the big collaborations,
Okay.
the big ideas, which those are good. I would love to earn as well from like the passion that I have, right?
Yeah.
And the collaboration. That's nice because you put your brand out there. But I think for me, the highlights would be it's super simple. It's cheesy, but whenever I would see someone wearing the shirt or the
All
hoodie,
right. Yeah.
it just like really melts my heart. Like I wanted to hug them. I want to, thank you. But I still have that fanboy mentality whenever I would
Right.
see
Of course.
someone like, oh, he's wearing agape. Wait, I don't know this person. He's wearing
Yeah.
agape. He's from from a different church. I don't know this guy. He's from the States and then he's wearing it. Blah blah blah. Alam mo yung feeling na ganun. So I think that's the highlight so far. And whenever people would talk about it, like parang, okay, I've heard this brand, because I don't boost posts or whatever, and
Okay.
I don't usually get a lot of influencers to
Yeah.
market the brand. So whenever I would do it, it's like the friends that wanna
Yeah.
shoot
Yeah.
with me and all those things, because I don't have the big budget yet. People would think
Yeah.
like, oh, agape, parang the owner is rich and all, he has the connection, blah blah blah. But the funny story is I'm not really rich, and I'm not just like every other brand. I started from scratch,
Right.
and it's still a struggle for me. Sometimes releasing a merch would be a risk. You
Yeah.
get what I mean? I'm not working. No, now I'm working kind of full time. But before I used to just do agape full time,
All right.
and then so it's a risk for me to produce. You get what I mean? Parang
Yeah.
walang bumabalik ng monthly income. So it was a struggle, but I think the highlight would be when people would actually wear and rep the brand. So I think that's very cheesy and simple,
For sure.
but that's how
No,
that's the highlight.
it's a great feeling. I've had that feeling before when I made merch for the band that I manage, Nathan and Mercury. So we had like a show, and along with the show, we had a release, like new music released, and then we had merch, right? So I had the merch made, funded it, helped out making it, all that stuff, right? Processed it, delivered it, all that stuff, right? And then I remember one time I was walking around like town center, and then I saw someone wear it, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that.
And then you designed it. Pa.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just like,
That-
oh, geez, like someone's wearing it. It's a different feeling.
It's like you want to take a picture of that person, pero nakakahiya.
Yeah. I'm like, I just be like, hey, I designed your shirt.
Parang, oh, hey, did you know that I own that brand? Thank you for
I
wearing it.
thank you for
So,
wearing that. What's been your most stressful time? Specifically like before you launched. When you, because I know how hard it is to like look for suppliers and get the right cotton, whatever. What was the hardest part for you?
because I'm a one-man team,
Okay.
I started a brand doing everything. So looking for suppliers, stressful yung looking for the best shirt. I didn't start cotton sew. I didn't start like in the best one, parang the best factory yet. I
Yeah.
started,
Yeah.
getting blanks and then cutting the tags.
Ah.
So
Okay.
usual stuff. That's how I started. Parang I would just get like blanks from usually I started Gildan. I remember I started Gildan,
Yeah.
then I would just cut
Classic.
it. Classic, right? So how to start a brand 101.
How
Get
does that
Gildan.
happen? Gildan cut print.
Yeah, that's the best way to start it. So just like everyone, I started that. That was stressful also. Kasi Gildan, they're always out of stock. Parang broken sizes.
Ah.
And then
Okay.
getting the suppliers, the best printing place. And it's stressful also because like when it comes to silk screen, there's like a lot of parang minimum order, I guess, or
Yeah.
minimum
Yeah.
print.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. So yeah, the cost, yeah, the cost also, yeah, very stressful talaga yan. The cost, of course.
Yun.
It's syempre, but the time kasi when I started, I was still working. So parang
Ah.
medyo carefree pa ako na, okay, may babalik. If I
Yeah.
lose, if talo ko this release, okay, that's fine.
I'm not gonna
It's
be
gonna,
hungry. Like that's the feeling.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I still have money to provide for my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was stressful. And then, um, this one, I hate it so much. The delivery and the shipping.
Oh.
Kasi, man, I don't, unlike you, I don't have a car. I don't have a
Right.
motorcycle. So I would commute all those things. Imagine
Oh
like a big,
man.
and then before my printing would, my supplier is like in Vito Cruz pa.
Wow. Okay.
Siya in Laguna, so I would commute everything. So it's like it's a real hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle talaga, hustle tapos hustle ko talaga siya. So parang that's the hardest part. And whenever people will buy like in bulk, that yung kinakarga mo, you carry it all around, you bring
Right.
it to the courier or yung delivery niya. Because I know a lot of people, I have yung mga first buyers ko, customers ko would be my friends.
Yeah.
So from
Yeah.
Laguna to church, then alam mo yun, I'm carrying this big parang paninira din ng forma sometimes, but that's the
Right.
hustle. And
Right.
yeah, I think those are like the practical, stressful parts of owning a brand or starting a brand.
I remember the hardest parts for me were just basically like, well, yeah. Nowadays it's the delivery. The delivery is horrible. It's so difficult. And what do you call this? Of course, customer service, acquisitions, all that stuff. I found that really interesting when you mentioned the minimum orders, because like that's so true. Because like a lot of places they'll ask for 100 minimum, 200 minimum. You know what I mean? And then like you're just like, I don't have that much money on me.
Yeah. That's why parang because yun, I want that's the dream if you have like your own printing place that or you have like a friend like a connection that can print if I want
Yeah.
to produce 20 pieces lang they can make that, but I know it's business, you know what I mean, parang if you create a screen kasi it's also mahal.
Yeah, it's
So the
also
cost,
it's also costly.
so I get where they're coming from, but it's just also really hard for
It is.
small.
It's so interesting and it's so true because like even for me, with my supplier, my supply partner, like even for them, they had a hard time. We couldn't produce a certain batch of clothing because there was no one to cut the clothes. Like you know what I mean? Like and then I was just like, when will they be able to cut? And then they're like maybe in 2 weeks. So I have to wait an extra 2 weeks plus production. So it's like
Yung
it's and I
production.
and I don't blame them, right? Like it's really hard to be them right now as well. But for me, I was
Yeah.
just like, this is so difficult.
Mhm.
So
Everything's affected by
yeah,
by the the restrictions and the
right,
virus. Parang from top to bottom talaga everyone's gonna be affected. So yeah, that was like the struggle for me also right now.
So how'd you feel when you kind of had to like stop doing events?
Oh man, that sucks. Because I have a school that has like a fair every year,
Mm.
and these people are like big spenders. Like if I, it's like the first time I saw like a kid that would buy 5 hoodies in just one go. So
Jeez.
on like the financial, the business part of it, that's also parang like a big chunk of the money I could have right now.
Yeah.
That's like the part. But also like, the other side is like, okay, I wanna meet more people because the message, the mission of the brand. I want people to get to know or get to parang be familiar with this type of love or somehow connect them to a church and have a
For sure.
relationship with them. It's mostly about relationship. It's
Yeah.
not parang whenever I meet a customer, it's I would of course do my very best to give them the quality that they want. But more than that, the customer service, how I talk to them, how I communicate with them,
Right.
I think the best part. Because if it's online, sometimes it's dry. You feel me? Parang
Yeah, yeah.
you reply HM po, and then I would say, oh hi, this is ano, and then there's no follow up when they see the price or whatever. But
Right.
in like face to face, you get to see their reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, is it mahal for them or is it okay for them? Alam mo
Yeah.
yun? So it's really hard not having those events because I love events. I actually
Yeah.
love events because like I'm a dancer as well. I mean
Right.
I'm a church and I'm also into like music. Like I love gigs, I love concerts.
Yeah.
So alam mo yun, whenever you would sell merch, you get excited to see people wearing your merch in the festival or in the conference. So yeah, that was. I think it's just tough right now, but I believe that it's just for a season. So I'm
Yeah.
preparing also. I'm really preparing for when this is all over.
That's good. I want to ask you about your plans because I'm curious on what you think Agape will look like in the next few years. Of course, like it's hard to tell because we don't really know when the pandemic will be over, right? When will they officially say, "Hey, we're no longer within a pandemic"? Like that I don't know when that's going to happen, but of course we always pray, we always hope that's going to happen soon, but we don't actually know when it's going to happen. But for you personally, where do you see Agape in the next few years?
Okay. Right now for me it's more of like a preparation time. So if I go back to the war, if I go back to the battle, I'm not gonna be unprepared.
All
So
right.
it's okay to bleed in the preparation, all the thinking, and all the conceptualizing. So right now I'm just doing my best to learn a lot of things. I'm not a fashion designer, but I'm also, always looking for like a plan B for the suppliers. If
Mm.
this wouldn't work, okay, I have someone.
Yeah.
If the print here is parang, he's busy with a lot of production, I'll go to this to the supplier or printing place. So right now it's more of like preparation and um more on how do I say this? Parang I'm just preparing myself also for the years that will be coming. So right now more on like developing my skill set. Okay, I'm
Right.
not so good at this. Okay, I'm learning Photoshop. I'm learning how to edit on my own because I would always outsource everything. Like graphic
Mm.
designer.
Okay.
I have a concept. I have a concept in mind. Okay, this is how I see it. I'll draw it. It's ugly, but the
Yeah, yeah,
graphic
yeah.
designer, the
You
graphic
get it.
designer would
Make it nice.
yeah, you get the drawing, right? So yeah, everything's out. But right now I'm trying to develop those skills. Na parang if I can do it, maybe I don't have to pay for someone else.
Yeah.
So like with the latest release of No Fear Love, it's just like I did it by myself. Oh,
Mm.
with the help of my girlfriend as well. Parang she helped me design it and all. But I'm learning how to use Photoshop. I'm learning how to edit videos, to take photos, all those things. So thank you to Skillshare and whatever. I'm just getting because I have so much time.
Yeah.
I'm getting the classes I can get, and yun, I think that's the preparation. But right now, it's more of like a preparation time. You know what I mean? Parang, I think it's never a wasted time. Just preparing
Right.
for the years it's gonna come. And I think I'm not giving up on Agape yet. I know it's kind of mm, parang it's not in a good place,
Yeah.
not in a bad place naman, but it could be better.
Yeah.
Right now the vision stands, the mission stands. So I'll keep on developing my skills. I'll keep on brainstorming, praying for, you know, the things that will work.
Mm.
Parang, for me, like, whenever I drop something, it's not, I'm not following the calendar. Whenever I feel like whenever I'm ready, boom, drop it. Okay, the
Right.
production's ready, release it.
Right.
So, but it's also timely sometimes. Most of the time, the words like very timely. So right
Yeah.
now we're crippled by fear and all. So I drop something that can help people. You know, no fear
Yeah.
and love. So I'm always also on the lookout on what's happening around us, and always praying for guidance, because if it's just me, I don't think I can do it alone. So
Mm.
I'm always on my I'm always on my quiet time so I can hear from
Right.
God as well.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the plan. No concrete plans yet. Like I have potential investors, but I
Okay.
want to research into something na parang I can have an event. I haven't had the opening, like a drop wherein there's an event.
Oh,
Okay,
those are fun. Those are fun.
I love those things. I want to do that. Parang, you know, there's music,
Yeah.
there's a party. So I'm preparing for those things. And right now, yeah, parang it's just in the back of my head right now, and I'm still praying for it. So that's what I'm doing right now, I guess.
I'm excited to see where it goes, to be honest with you. Um, Mainly because of the whole. I mean, like, even for me, I'll admit that I'm not a big, like, church wearing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really my personal taste often. But
Mhm.
if there was a brand that I wouldn't mind wearing, it would be Agape.
Uh,
So when we started working together, I remember people constantly asking us for the tie dye hoodies, like
oh yeah,
constantly. Like it was just constant. Like we sold out in like a few, like I think like a week or something, or like 2 weeks.
yeah.
But like we kept getting messages for like the next months about it. Like people would really
Mhm.
scroll down and screenshot that piece, and they
Yeah.
would say like, "Is this still available?" And we're like, "Sorry, it's not anymore." Um, but you can really see that there's really people who really want it, who
Mhm.
really who really like the look, the feel, the design more than.
Mhm.
And then it's not just because you're in church together, but these are people you don't even know.
Mhm.
When you hear something like that, how does that make you feel?
Bro. It's just like heartwarming, heart overwhelming. Parang, okay, they would like the design that I
You
worked
drew.
hard for. Oh, that's just an amazing feeling, I guess. Parang people would love the brand for what it is, and just love the designs, because I really worked hard for it. Like it's
Mm,
tears, sweat, all those things, like literal. And yeah, it's just parang I feel happy whenever people would just, you know, look for Agape, ask even just the annoying messages that would say HM po.
yeah, yeah,
That's still something, you know. It's
yeah.
still
You're right.
parang
You're right.
you're still interested. Alam mo yun, people are annoyed by that HM po, PM sent, all those things. But you have to be grateful for those people, because if there's no one asking you, you don't you're not in the map. You know
Yeah, yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? But you're
yeah.
nothing. So yeah, I'm grateful for those people. And if you're the time na parang you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much for supporting.
Right. It's no, like when I remember that time. What do you call this? When I remember that feeling of someone being interested, because you're right. When I get the HM, I'm just like, it's in the post. Read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then yeah, there are other times where I have to just be like, okay, at least someone's interested. You know what I mean? Like he might not have read it, but he's interested, and I have to respond. You know what I mean? Like I still want good customer service. What's
Mhm,
your?
mhm.
Do you have like a customer service horror story?
Uh, so far, like ano naman, and not nothing big. It's just like the joy reservers. You know those people na
Ah,
parang they would reserve, and then you would hold it for them for weeks and all, and then they would
right.
flake. So that kind of hurts because someone could have gotten it at the time, especially like an event. Oh, can you hold
Yeah.
it for me? Oh, can you hold it for me? I'll just message you. Okay, I'll hold it for
Like I'll
you.
come back later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then they don't go back at you, or sometimes you would message them, "Oh, hey, just want to get an update." And then they don't check out your message, don't see you at all.
Right.
So that's like the 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 hardest part, I guess, or the most horrible customer service experience I've had. And those people that would say, "Mahal naman." Alam mo yun?
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, it's not mahal yet. Parang, it's not mahal. If you've seen other brands,
It's
yo,
not. It's really not.
we're not there. We're not there.
It's really not.
So I think that's like the worst na, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Last question before before we go to the speed round. How's your
Mm.
church community nowadays?
Oh, um, it's going good. But
Glad to
not the
hear it.
best.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't think it's like the best because people are still not yet allowed to go
Right.
out,
For sure.
and we were kind of in a momentum already. We're starting
I
to
saw
in
like my friends from your community were like constantly
yeah.
posting like you guys were doing stuff
Yeah,
again, which is nice to see.
church, we're meeting together again, socially distanced and all
Yeah.
that. Also, it's also hard because there's. I think I'd rather go to church than go to the malls because there are like
Okay.
ushers there. Na parang there's people who would ask you to socially distance. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard because people are excited to see each other.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where now we can hug right now. But alam mo yun, but kasi when you enter a mall, they check you, all
Right.
those things, sanitize. But when you're inside the mall, no one really cares about
That's
you
true.
anymore. They
That's
see
true.
you when. But in church,
The face
parang,
shields are like up.
yeah. It's like, do you remember the trend before? Like when we were younger, yung shades nandito
Oh,
sa
like this.
before, bro. That used to be cool. So yeah, with like the community right now, we're doing great, but not. I think not yet the best.
Okay.
Not yet the best. I think we can do better. Um, but I love it because you would see also the hunger of like the younger people, the youth.
Yeah.
Now they're really into parang they're excited to go back because it's
Yeah.
taken so quickly away
Right.
from us. And you know, I love communities. I love going to church because parang when you do life with people in you know, parang face to face, you get to know their stories, you get to know their struggles,
Right.
and it's just hard right now because we're back to Zoom meetings. I have screen fatigue already. To be
Same.
honest, I
Same.
don't want to do Zooms anymore. And like the recording, sometimes I get it. Like you know, I think it's harder for the worship team.
Oh,
Imagine
for sure. It is for
messing
sure.
up, recording a guitar and then you mess up at some point. That's
I was
hard.
part of that for a while.
Oof.
I had to record. It's so difficult. I'd rather just go somewhere and play with them. You know what I mean?
And then you have to turn off everything so you don't hear, you know, the sounds. Like
Ah, it's
air
so difficult. It's so hard.
It's so hard. So I think, but it's good. Like it's good. Like I think no one's ready for it unless you're like a mega church that's already, I mean,
Yeah.
was an online. But for some of us, like you know, like especially with the youth, you just
Yeah.
have to be creative. So I have like the highest respect to all the creatives in different churches, all those people recording in their houses. Salute, hands down. But yeah, the community is going well. You just have to take care of your people. You
Yeah.
know, take care of the people that's there. Sometimes they're always on the. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like always looking for people that I can reach out.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to also take care of the flock.
Yeah.
Take care of the people that are there.
You're
Even
right.
if you alam mo yun, you strengthen the culture, you strengthen the growth and then the faith of those people. You just be there for them
Right.
because this will be the pillars for the years to come because we're just preparing. When we
Right.
go back to church, I feel like people when COVID's over, people will be okay. Go back to church. Go to church. Go to church. I'm excited to go to church.
Right.
So yeah, I think right now it's a tough spot for all of the churches, but yeah, I'm still excited. I'm really hopeful for the things that are coming ahead.
All right. I'm really excited as well, to be honest with you. Like, hearing you speak about it to me, it was just like, I miss it so much. I miss like freely going to the
Yeah.
community without having to think, am I gonna get infected? Am I gonna get someone infected? You know what I mean? Like it's just such a hard
Mhm.
thing to carry while you're outside. But
That's
yeah,
true.
I do miss those days when it was kind of just like I can go there without worrying about something. You know what I mean? Fellowship, get to know people, love them, and I really, really miss that.
Yeah. I would love to visit you guys one time in Victoria, Labang. I used to go there for a while.
Uh huh.
Because my mom, when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, it's like the nearest one in Asian. So
Oh,
it
that's
fit
right. Okay, yeah,
So yeah, I would love to visit the community you guys have there also.
for sure. I actually moved to Las Piñas.
Oh,
It's near though.
Victory.
Yeah. It's in it's behind what's that mall that used to be Toyota? Um, Village Square.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's
Oh,
behind
lapit
that.
lang. Oh, okay.
It's behind
Lapit
that.
lang.
Super
Kasi
super near.
I'm confused. I saw you in like the videos of the one you posted. I think
I don't
Victory.
know. Like I still
Labang.
volunteer in Alabang, but like I'm transitioning also to like Las Piñas.
All right, right, right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So if you ever want to come, hit me up
Of
when
course,
it's
I
all
would.
done and ready. All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna go to the speed round.
all right.
All right. All right, we're back for the speed round. So for the speed round, I'm going to be asking you a bunch of questions. Just answer as honestly as you can.
Okay.
And if you have a story attached to the answer, I'd love to hear it. If you don't, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, cool. What's on your Spotify playlist?
Oh, I love this. So right now, I'm really into Mosaic music, MSC. So
Okay,
it's a shirt.
yeah.
I'm always listening to their music. Um, what else? The new song of Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music,
Jaira.
Super S. Gyre, all
So
that
good.
song. Where you asked me the
I did
title,
ask you about it. I didn't know
right?
because it was my first time hearing it when you posted about it. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it
what
was.
is this? I was like, what is this song? Because like I know what they're saying, but like I don't know what the song is and I've never heard it before. And
Yeah,
like the setting wasn't familiar. Like it didn't look like a hill song. It didn't look like an elevation. So I was like, what is this? And then
yeah.
when you said it was Jaira, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it now.
Maverick City Music. They're just
I love
kicking it
Maverick
right now.
City.
They're
So
amazing.
good.
I love. And also, I think I have my own playlist to say, so I'm always listening to Novo more
Okay.
Bon Iver,
Okay.
but like R&B side would be like SZA
All
and
right.
like basta more on like R&B.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm gonna be binge listening to something R&B or indie folk or sometimes pop rock like
All
pop
right.
rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite dancer?
Dancer. Ooh, that's hard. I think it will go. I'll go for. Oh my gosh, that's hard. That's hard. Wait. Um, what's his name? I'll just go for Elvis Presley.
Really?
And yeah, I love them. I
Wow.
love them. That's how I
Okay.
started. Because my parents would parang listen to them, and
All
I
right.
would see their videos. So I think that kind of inspired me. You know, Elvis and Michael Jackson.
Right. What do you do in your free time?
Free time. I would usually watch movies, series, Netflix. Listen to music,
Uh huh.
read the book. I
Right.
love reading books. So right now, reading books and it's so SS. But I would always do my quiet time.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, quiet time and just reading the word.
What book are you reading now?
Outliers by I
Oh,
forgot.
um, I know this. It's a
Yeah,
white book.
yeah, it's a white
Yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah,
That.
yeah. Is it
So
good?
I've been, yeah, it's really good.
All right.
It's really good. I'm not. I'm halfway through it, palang. I'm a slow reader,
Okay.
but I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm also reading. Um, the book of Stephen Furtick. I forgot the name. Shucks.
Uh,
Unqualified.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right, if you could collaborate with any brand in the world, what brand would it be?
Hmm. Right now, oh, shucks. I would love to collaborate with Fear of God. Fear
Ooh,
of God.
all right, yeah,
Because I love how Jerry Lorenzo does his stuff also, like the marketing and the
uh
branding.
huh.
Fear of God. Yo, I didn't think of that name. That was really good. Like, parang Fear of God. It's not something na
It
parang,
sounds good. It sounds
it
really
sounds
good.
good. Right? It's not super religious in a
It's
sense
not.
na
That's the
parang
thing.
Fear of God. And then he doesn't it's not super cheesy with like the designs and all,
Yeah.
but whenever he would talk in interviews, whenever you would talk to him how his parang thought process, his creative process, he always injects God and the Holy Spirit, all those things.
Right.
Parang for me, wow, that's so good. So yeah, I would love to collaborate with him. Yeezy, of course. Parang I'm not a big fan of Yeezy, but I just wanna get to know his head. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes it's not mostly about the brand, but I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see how his mind works. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Nike for sure. I love Nike and Stussy. Yun na lang. I
Yeah.
don't want to explain anymore. Nike and Stussy are like legends for me.
All right. If you could have anybody in the world wear your merch, who would it be?
Sorry again.
If you could choose one person in the world to represent your merch, who would it be?
Oof, that's hard. Represent my merch. Is it like a celebrity type of
Yeah.
person, like
Anyone.
a
Anyone.
person? Oh gosh, that's hard. Um, I would love to see. Hmm, shucks, that's hard. One person lang, di ba?
One person.
Sige, I'll just give it to Erin McManus. If you know Erin McManus,
Who's
he's like a
this?
pastor. He's the
Oh, okay.
pastor of Mosaic.
Oh, Mosaic. Okay.
Mosaic. It's just like I don't know. I just love that guy, so I want him to wear it everywhere. Because he
Right.
also have the influence, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
You can
For sure.
see Hollywood, and basta. It's just like I want people to represent it the way it should be represented.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes.
I get that. What would be your words of encouragement for young people nowadays?
Okay. Yeah. Nowadays.
Hmm.
So it's so easy to stay away from a community. It's a time of like, being isolated. People are isolated, but you know what? It's you can do it alone. You can do it alone. You need to have people around you. You need to be accountable to people because when you're alone, it's easier for the thoughts,
Yeah.
the monsters like the enemy
Yeah.
to attack you. But when you have people around you, when you're accountable to someone, there's someone that can actually help you.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with being real with what you're going through.
Mm.
Sometimes, if you're just vulnerable, if you're just transparent to people, I
Yeah.
think people can actually help you. And you know what? This current season, it might be a dark times. Now we're talking during the Black Saturday, right? It's seems like Jesus is dead. Everything's like, everything's dark. And, I followed Jesus, but I'm here. He's dead.
Mm.
But you know what? The story doesn't end there, right?
Right.
Even now, we're in a very dark time. Um, it's hard to navigate this season, but the story doesn't end here. There's
Right.
so much more that God has in store for you. So just keep on pushing. Just keep on leaning into God, rest in God, because the breakthrough is just around the corner. Because whenever God brings us through, there's always a breakthrough. So
Right.
the miracle is just around the corner. You just have to keep the faith, keep on believing, and there are people that can help you with your journey. So yeah, that's my message for them.
I love it. You're right. All right. Last few questions. Where can people find you?
At Gio Manlangit on Instagram, and then my brand is at Agape. Oh, so at Gio Manlangit would be everywhere: Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, but TikTok. but also, YouTube, yeah, there. And then Agape at Agape Culture on Facebook and Instagram. And you can visit the website at www.agapeculture.com. So yeah, you can find me also in our church, in our youth community.
Perfect. I love it.
I'm always there. So if you need someone to talk to, I'm here, bro. Yeah.
Love it. All right, Gio, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for that conversation. I loved it. I relate to you so much as someone who's been in that clothing scene, having to learn about suppliers and all that stuff. So your struggle is not just for you, but just know that you're not alone in it, because I I went through that as well. It's so hard. It's so difficult.
Are you guys still up?
Right now, no. Right now we're on a break. Yeah.
All right.
And I'm really, really excited for you and for the future that's gonna happen. I hope that if ever you have a big event, you come back.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Anytime you need me here, I'll be down.
That's it. That's the spirit of being there for someone. All right, Gio, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. To check out more episodes, go check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And for clips and full episodes, you can check out our videos on YouTube. Just search for Sand Studios, SAND Studios. Again, for any equipment needs you have, go check out Wavecast PH. Again, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.